Okay, good evening, everyone. Before we get into our June meeting, we had advertised that we'd be continuing 2 public hearings tonight. There was yet another snafu with the newspaper and the publishing, no fault of the Village of Tivoli or our fabulous clerks. So tonight, we're just going to do a motion to continue these 2 public hearings for July 14th, so that by that time they are duly noticed and published in our paper of record. So I'm going to ask first for a motion to continue the public hearing on local law A of 2021, the Code of Ethics, to July 14th at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's the first one. And we also have, I'll ask for a motion continuing the public hearing on local law number B, proposed of 2021, on the parking, standing, and stopping regulations, continuing that to July 14th at 7:15 p.m.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Very good. And now, it is June 16th, and this is our monthly meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Will you please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Yes. So in the past month, 2 payrolls have been processed. The deputy clerk continues to assist planning and zoning boards. 621 trash tags were sold, and just a little ahead, but for the upcoming event of yard sale day, July 31st. Forms are ready if anyone wants to sign up. $10, $20 if they get rent a space. If they sign up by the 23rd, then they make the map, which will be distributed that morning. And then also too, Monday, July 5th, the office will be closed in observance of Independence Day.
So for a yard sale day, if one is not a Tivoli resident but you want to sell items, what do we do?
$20 and they can rent a space. You just get to the regular parking lot.
And about how many people can we accommodate out there? How many spaces do you generally? We've never filled up, right?
We have not. I think generally it's usually under 10
Okay,
that we have.
great. Thank you, Clerk Bruno. Trustees, we have 2 sets now. May 19th, our regular board meeting. And so do we want to, this is the beginning of a public hearing that's being continued, right? Right, okay. Trustees, is there a motion to approve both sets of minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to the treasurer's report. This is a fun month because we have 2 treasurer's reports in June because our fiscal year ends on May 31st and the new one begins on June 1st. So this is that month where we have the last 2 weeks of May to report on, as well as the first half of June. So, abstract number 13. So we have 13 abstracts, so there are 12 months in the year. Out of the general fund, abstract 13, $18,990.93. We can approve these together. Abstract 1 of our new fiscal year, $11,286.28. Is there a motion to accept the 2 treasurer's reports that I just read? That was motioned by Baldino and seconded by Major. Any discussion? I just want to thank our bookkeeper, Michelle Zagorski, and treasurer Bonnie Day. It was a lot to pull together at the turning of the fiscal year. So grateful for their work. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So move.
All right, that was moved by the deputy mayor, seconded by trustee Israedi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we are very excited to have trustee Israedi present a building, zoning report in a few months.
Yes, yes. That's fine.
So we have a new building inspector, zoning enforcement officer, Gary Beck. And hopefully he's going to bring some stability and consistency to our building department, which has been lacking in the last too many months, I'm afraid to say. So
We've actually gone through 3.
3 since the fall.
Well, Gary Beck has given us a report of the activities that he's done since he started on May 22nd. He's reviewed 3 building permits, issued 4 building permits, addressed 4 complaints, investigated 2 of those, cited no zoning violations, and offered no tickets. He's done 8 municipal searches. These take place when real estate transactions are going forward. And he's also attended code enforcement training. Busy.
Yes, some of the things that are not on this report
20 days.
are all the time he spent with myself and the clerk, getting the office set up, meeting with the deputy clerk, and doing several walk-arounds the village, looking at various things. It's been a very busy time, and I'm just absolutely thrilled with his responsiveness
And proposing a new fee schedule.
new fee schedule, redrafting many of our old forms, and just getting things up to date. So it's been working really hard. Thank you, trustee Israedi. At this time, we do public comment on agenda items. We are going to have 5 items on the agenda. Summer hours, a resolution authorizing a new building department fee schedule, the end of the fiscal year budget mods, and a resolution authorizing borrowing for the Waterfront Stabilization project, and a last minute motion to increase the not to exceed for bond counsel services. And I don't think we're going to have any comments from the public tonight, so we'll jump right in. We'll start with adoption of summer hours. We've been on a restricted COVID schedule for some time, feels like forever. We've been Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 4. We are going to now introduce Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 4, Friday, 10 to 1. So we'll call these our summer hours, and this will be the schedule through Labor Day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 4, Friday, 10 to 1. Is there a motion to begin these summer hours? Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I'm going to change the website and replace that notice with these hours tomorrow. So next we have a resolution authorizing a building department fee schedule. It's been quite a while since Tivoli updated its fee schedule. We had done a draft but not adopted that in 2017, so I think our schedule is older than 2017. So we've done a lot of review here. This will go up on the village website, be available for residents. This covers building permits and a fee schedule for, I want to replace all the windows in my house, I want to put in a pool or a generator or a solar panel. It includes fire inspections for our places of public assembly, HVAC systems, a fireplace,
Hot tub.
all that sort of stuff, yes. So I want to thank trustee Israedi for working working with me on this, and again, Gary Beck. I'll ask for a motion to authorize the new building department fee schedule. Is there a second?
Second.
Give that to Baltino. A roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, and the new fee schedule is adopted. Next, we have budget modifications. There's quite a slew of them, also related to the end of the fiscal year. We do our best to anticipate what we're going to need in various budget lines when we write the budget, and then throughout the year. Some things cost more, some things cost less. I'll tell folks one thing we didn't spend as much money on this year was police, for example, because things were pretty quiet during the pandemic and not a lot of activity, so we were able to save quite a bit of money on police. And then other things cost more, and so this schedule of budget modifications, there are about 20 different budget lines here. Anything that had money left gets shuffled to cover budget lines that went over, and we end up at zero. And I don't have the exact amount yet, but we did come in under budget, not by much, a couple $1,000s maybe, but that's a good thing. And then the last thing, trustees, you see there, the $6,784. This was back in November when we were supplementing the CDBG for the park improvements. And the bids came in a little higher than the grant amount, so this was money that we had talked way back when about taking out fund balance, but it was never processed. And in fact, if you remember, we originally were going to supplement it to the tune of $28,000, but then the county came back and said, hey, we found a little extra money for your grant. So it came down to 6,784,71. So with that, is there a motion to adopt these budget modifications? Baldino, is there a second?
Second.
Israedi. Roll call, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. Next, we have a mouthful. Here we go. A resolution authorizing a waterfront stabilization project at an estimated maximum cost of $458,000 and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds of the Village of Tivoli, Dutchess County, New York in an aggregate principal not to exceed $458,000 pursuant to the local finance law to finance such cost, providing that this resolution shall be subject to permissive referendum and delegating certain powers in connection therewith to the treasurer. So what's happening here is we have our shoreline stabilization project. We won a grant 3 years ago for that. We've been working with Amtrak. We almost have the permits, and construction is looking very likely for this September, October period. And though we have $343,000 in grant money coming, Little Tivoli doesn't have enough cash on hand to pay out $458,000 without leaving mothballs in the coffers. So we're going to borrow this money for a very short period for cash flow, and then when the grant comes in, it gets paid back. So that's what this is. We are anticipating about $5,000 in interest on this.
Yeah, so the grant, part of the problem is that you have to show you've done it before you receive the grant, so.
Right, thank you.
That's always.
It's a reimbursable grant, so
It's,
we have to lay out the money and then send our bills to get reimbursed. So if we don't have the money up front, we're stuck.
Right.
So that's what this is.
and there's been concerns expressed about escalating costs because we've seen that in the construction industry, but the nature of this project is mostly moving earth. And the DEC has, in their wisdom, has recommended a soft, isn't that what it's called, rather than a hardscape for the stabilization, it's a soft.
So planted stone riprap.
Yeah, so doesn't require materials in that same way.
Right. Is there a motion to authorize this borrowing subject to permissive referendum in the amount of $458,000? Is there a second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, and the resolution is adopted. So we will do the publications, and it's subject to permissive referendum for 30 days? Yep, okay. And lastly, though not on the written agenda, we are going to add a motion to authorize an increase in our not-to-exceed amount for bond counsel services related to that same borrowing.
Not that borrowing, this is for the.
Oh, excuse me, different borrowing.
Yeah.
This is for the water project related to EFC.
I'm going to say a little bit about that, just for the record, that
Please.
the DCWA has let us know that they are going to need an additional interim borrowing. We have a borrowing for a portion of the money from EFC. We increased the project cost last year, but we didn't ever do a borrowing for that yet. EFC needs a few more months for themselves to be ready to close with us on an increase in the financing amount at zero. We're going to have to do an interim borrowing of approximately $800,000 in order to do that. That's already authorized under our bond resolution, but we always have to file with EFC a not to exceed authorization for the work that we do in connection with that.
Thank you. And we had previously authorized 15,000, so this is going to be an increase of 3,680 for a total of 18,680. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Our next board meeting will be held Wednesday, July 21st at 7 p.m., preceded by a workshop at 6 p.m. Here at the historic Westpeister Hall, and we have a regular workshop on July 14th at 7 p.m. We're going to start with those public hearings under the pavilion. We'll be doing them out here at the American Legion, and then we'll go into our workshop. Trustee reports. Trustee Ezrati.
No, really have any.
All right. Trustee Baldino.
To report either.
Okay. Moving right along. You've got something. You must.
I got
Deputy Mayor Major.
We have so many awesome things going on locally. Library, as always, knocking it out of the park. The last day of school, Friday, June 21st, from 2 to 4. To celebrate the last day of school, there's going to be a rock climbing wall in the park, right over there. And I was able to ring the bell 2 years ago when this last happened, so I'm gonna race you.
See if you still
I'm
got
gonna
it.
race you to the top.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be awesome. And Mahjong has resumed on Fridays from 11 to 1 out in the gazebo, unless it's raining, in which case it'll be up here on the 3rd floor. And you should call ahead so that they know how many tables to set up. The other thing is, other than books and fun events, the library also offers museum passes to Olana, the New York Museum of Firefighting up in Hudson, to Mass MoCA, which has some really cool stuff right now. And also, they offer, and all those museum passes are good for 2 adults and 2 kids. And then also you can stop in and borrow the Empire Pass, which gets 1 vehicle in at New York State Parks and boat launches and DEC preserves and arboretums. So that's a fun thing to do. Claremont has 2 cool events coming up the next 2 Sundays. The 20th at 2 p.m. there's a virtual event called Thoroughly Modern Janet. And for those of you who don't know, although I can't imagine that, the last pair of Livingston sisters to live at Claremont, Janet and Honoria, were, Janet was a character, like driving fast cars.
She's almost 6 feet tall.
Smoking,
isn't she?
yeah, just a pillar of a woman.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. So that's virtual 2 o'clock this Sunday. And then on the 26th, 2 o'clock, there's an event that at this point is still planned to be in person, and it's a talk about the Livingstons and their community during the Revolutionary War. And if you go up to Claremont and you walk the carriage paths, I have had the experience of, after a rainstorm when the mud is particularly, bubbling, I've found little shards of pottery, right, like little ceramic painted, and I have this vision in my mind of Janet with, her wagon loaded down and, her coerced servants and family just hightailing it out as the British are throwing their first match and they're heading for, Connecticut, and the China is just flying off and smashing on the ground. So, yeah, the Revolutionary War period is pretty cool around here. So go and hear about it. 2 p.m., June 26th, Historic Red Hook has the second event of their Music on the Green series this Saturday at 4 o'clock. It's Laura Hope's Gold Hope Duo, and they're amazing. They do like rockabilly and R&B, and that's at 4 o'clock. I plan on attending. Also, very exciting, the archives are now, again, open by appointment, but if you, if you just have a question about local history, you can call up your town and village historian, that would be me. You can find me on the website. And the nature report, bears are still awesome, still full of ticks. Apparently it's a very tickish year. There's an article about it today. And especially if you're a gardener, when you come inside, like strip naked on the porch, put your clothes in a bag, run to the dryer. Don't wash the clothes first, throw the clothes in the dryer, and for 10 minutes, cook your stuff in order to kill the ticks. And Bard campus is open to the public again, so you can stroll around Montgomery Place and Blythewood and have a great time. And I would like to institute a Empire Trail report for our meetings.
Oh, great.
A couple weeks ago, I saw a laden down tandem bike and a pair of people sitting outside the post office having coffee. They looked dirty, they looked tired, and they looked so happy. So I was like, what are you guys doing? Where are you coming from? They said, Buffalo.
Wow.
Wow.
I said, really? Buffalo? So where are you going? They said, New York City. I was like, well, how long did it take? And they were like, well, we started a week ago, and here we are.
Only a week?
A week, yeah.
Sometimes it takes that long to drive.
Once you cross the river, all bets are off, right? But yeah, and these were not like young, fit people. Like, they were just out there doing it and loving it, and yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so inspiration for us all.
I'll jump on this first Empire Trail report, and I picked a turtle up off of the Empire State Trail by the entrance to Tivoli Bays. Not my first turtle this spring, but watch out. This was just a little painted turtle, and it was just parked in the middle of Kid Lane, enjoying the sun.
Oh.
Not close enough to the speed bumps to be afforded any protection by that.
So watch out for the silver dollar turtles.
Yes, yep. Well, this could be fun.
Right?
There's always neat things happening on the Empire State Trail, which goes all the way through the village of Tivoli, one end to the other.
Look
So,
at that. Yep.
good segue for me, also on the Empire State Trail, are one of the two crosswalks that were repainted finally. The crosswalk right outside this building, and also up on Clay Hill. So that concludes the entire restoration of the water main project. Can all breathe a sigh of relief on that one. As you heard, Yard Sale Day is happening July 31st. Do please register with the village so we can include you on the map. And I would like to publicly invite my peers and colleagues on the board to assist me in the Four Corners handing out maps, because sometimes 3 hours is a long time for one person.
Nico already asked if he can help you.
Perfect. I'll take 10 minutes, you can have
I'll
250.
I'll get a copy.
Yeah.
Perfect, great. You have some kids you could put in your stat as well. He just got off the hook and put it
Wait,
in.
doesn't CPS yell at you if you put your kids in the middle of an intersection?
It's Yard Sale Day, we'll see. So Yard Sale Day will be great. We didn't get to do it last year, obviously, so looking forward to that. Just a brief update on the rec camp. We are intending to have it. We got our application into the county, waiting on approval. We're about to start searching for counselors. Stay tuned. The sign-ups, when we finally get the green light, will probably happen pretty quickly, but you'll be hearing from me on that. I've also been getting asked a lot about cleanup day. We do want to do it again. Expect it'll happen. Don't know 100% yet, but hopefully we'll know before our next board meeting in the next week
August.
In the mid-August, right?
Yeah.
Someone asked me yesterday, are you gonna do your day with the junk, you know? And I'm like, I just announced yard sale day. And they're like, oh, the other one. So I was very confused. So there's yard sale day and cleanup day. And if constituents can use those terms, it will really help me out. 'Cause
Right, well, and if
made a
you
fool of
think about
myself.
it, yard sale, if you can get somebody else to take it,
Right.
cleanup day if they don't.
Exactly. We do them in the proper sequence. We are also thinking far ahead to winter and expecting to do Tivoli on ice again. I met with Greater Good Dynamics and Robert George, and if Mother Nature cooperates with some nice cold temperatures, we can all look forward to some more ice skating. And lastly, last month, we sort of tipped our hats to outgoing Mayor Ed Blundell, and this month I'd like to welcome our new colleague in the village of Red Hook, Karen Smythe, who is the new mayor there. I had a nice lunch with her and Supervisor McKeon last week, and I have no doubt that the three municipalities will continue the close working relationship that we enjoyed with Ed Blundell. So welcome, Mayor Smythe. Looking forward to having you down the road. Trustees, anything else? The court report, oh yes,
I think Trustee Baldino missed that.
I think so. Let's see. Thank you, Clerk Report. You found that in your binder there?
I did.
All right, let's have it.
What am I supposed to do?
Nothing. Second page.
So, okay, then
Yeah.
so the total money collected and remitted to the state controller, fines is 270, surcharges is 25, civil fees is 70, and bringing a total of 365.
Great, thank you. And the total charges received were 3 and charges disposed were 5. Great.
Right.
Good catch. Thank you, Clerk.
It's methodical, every month.
All right.
Trail of paper.
If there's nothing else, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Very good, Danielle. I think it was less than 30 minutes.